Alright, so I got a few comments on my last video, which was nice, thank you. And one person wanted me to use Mega Lucario, one person wanted me to use Roserade, and one person wanted me to use a Cynthia team. So those all fit together pretty well, actually. I was able to add all of those things together to make all of you happy, hopefully. And so I'll show off the team right now. The Pokemon, their movesets and everything. Okay, so here first we have Lucario, which honestly I didn't use too much in my battling. It was more of like that one Pokemon on a Trick Room team that you use to just outspeed and KO the first threat. It can't be flinched with Inner Focus as its base ability. It can use Quick Guard if I need to block a Fake Out on something, which normally I don't because Spiritomb is immune to Fake Out. It can use Bullet Punch in case it's in Trick Room and it needs priority. It's got Detect and Drain Punch, though I think actually Close Combat would probably be better for it. As I said, like, I didn't really use Lucario too much, but I wanted to put it on here just because it's one of Cynthia's Pokemon. It's a Mega Evolution that someone asked for, and the person who commented is absolutely right. It does not get very much play, and I think that's kind of a crime. Not in the way I'm using it, because I don't think the way I'm using it is great, but I do think that in the right circumstances, with adaptability, close combat, really high speed stat, and everything, Mega Lucario could really shine. Alright, so here we have Garchomp, which, of course, Cynthia's main Pokemon. I did end up using it, which is good. I think I used every single Pokemon at least once in my battling, so Garchomp got to be showed off here. It doesn't have a Dragon-type move, which could be a mistake, but also is something I wanted just because I wanted both Ground-type moves. I wanted Stomping Tantrum and Earthquake because I wanted both spread and single target damage. I didn't want to have to use Earthquake every single time, but I also wanted to have spread damage. And Rock Slide just because Rock Slide's a really good move in this format. Garchomp's one of the faster Pokemon of this team, so it can use Rock Slide first if I'm not in Trick Room, which works pretty well generally for fishing for flinches and things if the opposing team is like middling speed or kind of slow. And it's really bulky because obviously I don't want speed on a Trick Room team, and it has an adamant nature. It can just barely survive a Life Orb max attack Garchomp. It can survive a Life Orb boosted stab adamant 32 attack Garchomp Dragon Claw with this set. So hopefully that's helpful for anyone who wants to survive that specifically with a Garchomp. I don't know who would, but I also equipped the Citrus Berry on this Garchomp, again for more survivability, just because I wanted Garchomp to be able to tank hits better. That was really more what I wanted in this thing. I didn't want it to be one of the glass cannons like Lucario or our next Pokemon, Roserade. So Roserade actually really surprised me. I actually kind of agree that Roserade could be good, I think. I don't think it's like a mainstay in the format, especially considering there's better grass and poison types with Chlorophyll Venusaur, or even Vileplume right now is seeing some usage, but Roserade certainly has something going for it. It has a decent speed stat at 90, and while it doesn't really have any good abilities it can take use of, because Poison Point isn't that useful because it doesn't use too many contact moves and you don't want it getting hit that much. Natural Cure is a decent ability if you want to get rid of status conditions, but it can't really get any usage out of its final ability, Technician, because not many of its low damage moves are moves you'd want to use over something like, say, Leaf Storm or Sludge Bomb. But with max special attack, Roserade is actually really, really strong. It can, as you can see in my battles that I'm going to show, it gets a lot of really high damage hits. And originally I actually equipped this thing with the Choice Scarf when I wasn't so sure I wanted to use a Trick Room team, and it still worked pretty well there. The only problem was that it was sometimes locked into Sludge Bomb with the prevalence of Pokemon like Archaludon or Metagross. That would sometimes be a problem for me. But yeah, base 125 special attack with a modest nature actually outputs a ton of damage for Roserade, and because it's below the base 100 threshold, it can still be useful in Trick Room. So it's been really valuable for me. I actually put the Life Orb on it to increase its damage even further, but it could also probably run Focus Sash because it's really not that bulky. I just gave it max HP because I didn't want to boost its speed at all, of course. My next Pokemon is Milotic, which just uses the most obnoxious Milotic set I could find, with Muddy Water, Protect, Hypnosis, Coil. I think that Hypnosis plus Coil and Muddy Water is, again, extremely obnoxious, but with this team I was not winning very much when I was practicing on Showdown, so I just wanted to find some sort of alternate win condition with Milotic. I didn't want to use what I had been using with Milotic whenever I did use it, which was Scald and Ice Beam, just to do a lot of damage, because I think that Muddy Water, Hypnosis, Coil, that provides a lot of variability to the team, so if I'm ever in a losing position, which you'll see in my future games that I often will be, it can bail me out with something like a Hypnosis or a Coil to boost its defense and accuracy, or a Muddy Water even to get some good spread damage off. And it has competitive to hopefully deter opposing Incineroar from attacking it. Alright, so Glaceon's an interesting Pokemon. I know probably a bunch of you right now are saying that Glaceon isn't on any Cynthia teams, but actually I'll pull that up right here. Glaceon was used by Cynthia in the anime, and there are not any other Pokemon like Gastrodon that are currently in the game that I can use, so I'm using that technicality right now. Cynthia did use a Glaceon, and so I'm saying Glaceon works on this team. It actually has some really good stats with good defenses in, I think it's 110 or 115 in defense and 95 in special defense. Its HP is only 65, but that's actually higher than Spiritomb, so it actually has some pretty good defenses, and of course the whopping 130 special attack with Modest Nature and the Wide Lens, so I can hit Blizzard more often. I also have Freeze Dry, so I can hit Water types more easily, and Ice Shard just in case I need some priority. Its ability isn't really that useful, a lot like Roserade. It just has Snow Cloak. I didn't bother giving it Ice Body, which heals when it's in the snow, because I didn't think I'd be in the snow that often, and I thought Snow Cloak, it just didn't really matter to me. So Glaceon actually does a ton of damage with spread damage with Blizzard, and with Helping Hand from Spiritomb, that can even do a lot of damage through things like Light Screen. So Glaceon actually became one of the main damage dealers in my Trick Room team, just plowing through a ton of the opposing Pokemon, even if they just took neutral damage from it. Alright, so the elephant in the room is Spiritomb, because normally Cynthia leads with Spiritomb, and fittingly, so did I. But I didn't lead with Spiritomb because it has no weaknesses, because now it has a weakness to Fairy, which of course I had to patch up with the Roselli Berry just so that Mega Floette didn't absolutely destroy me. But now I lead it because of Trick Room. It's the only Pokemon on this team, or any of Cynthia's possible Pokemon that I could have used, that has any sort of speed control move. And speed control is insanely valuable when you're playing at any sort of high level of competitive Pokemon. So I just kind of realized I had to make my team into a Trick Room team, despite so many fast Pokemon being on it, like Mega Lucario and Garchomp. I minimized a lot of Pokemon's speed stats and changed a lot of their moves just for Spiritomb's sake, because I realized that Spiritomb was really the only support option Pokemon that I had, aside from like Milotic, which is sort of a balanced Pokemon anyways. Spiritomb has pitiful offensive stats, so I just gave it Foul Play so it can take advantage of other Pokemon's good attacking stats. I gave it Helping Hand so it can boost damage while it's still on the field and not just be dead weight after Trick Room. And Ally Switch, because often opponents are not going to want to target Spiritomb because they don't think it's very good. And so I can force them to target Spiritomb by using Ally Switch. Spiritomb's abilities aren't that good, both of them, especially for what Spiritomb wants to do. It does get Infiltrator, which is a decent ability, but not for Spiritomb because it doesn't really matter that it hits through any sort of screens or substitute because it's not supposed to be hitting anyways. As you can see, it does a little bit of damage with Foul Play, but not very much otherwise. So its abilities are kind of useless. I just picked Infiltrator over Pressure because I figured that I wouldn't want to be going too long in a game with this team, and Pressure's ability to double the loss of move power points I don't think is as valuable, especially on a fast-paced Trick Room team. I maxed out Spiritomb's defense, but in my battles I actually saw a lot more special attacks hit Spiritomb than I thought, so it might be better for people using this team to add a little more special defense depending on what they want on the team. But I do think that Spiritomb being a bulky Trick Room setter was definitely very helpful for this team. I don't think I would have done as well without it. I think that just having any sort of speed control was really important for me. So Spiritomb ended up being really important on the team. Alright, so here we are with some battles with the team. Yeah, I'm not sure how good this team is. I tried a lot of different combinations, a lot of different movesets. These are the only 6 Pokemon I found that were viable. And while they cover each other's type weaknesses pretty well, it was really hard to find a cohesive strategy with all of them. But I'm just going to jump into some battles. So here we go. Alright, so we're facing a Mega Sceptile, Mega Floette team. I think against my team, they're probably going to bring Mega Floette. Alright, so they start with Sceptile and Rotom. So my goal here is just to not lose all my games. I think I can protect Roserade here and Trick Room with Spiritomb, because I don't really think they can do all that. I don't think they can KO Spiritomb here. Okay, they might be able to. If Mega Sceptile just uses Leaf Storm on me, then that could be a problem. Okay, Dragon Pulse. This might not KO still. Okay, it did. Oh, well, that's really bad. I'm not going to waste my time. Alright, so this next team is Mega Lopunny plus Talonflame. I think that could be Mega Frostlass. They might bring Mega Frostlass here just based on my team. That would be kind of difficult for me. I think what I have to do is... I think I lead Spiritomb and Lucario, just because Lucario is faster than everything except Lopunny. And if they attack with Lopunny, then I switch in Roserade and take the close combat. I think I have to go with Milotic, because I think that covers for what I'm not bringing. Alright. Okay, they start with Talonflame and Sylveon. So this is looking okay for me. I have the Roselli Berry on Spiritomb, so I will be able to take whatever Sylveon's throwing out. So I can safely Trick Room here, and... Actually, I can just Bullet Punch Sylveon, right? I'm pretty sure that KOs. I don't think I even need to waste my Roselli Berry here. And if it doesn't KO, then I'm still okay. Okay. Yeah, that's not a lot of damage, huh? Tailwind. Hyper Voice. Okay, we have the Roselli Berry. Still a lot of damage. I don't like that. Trick Room goes up. That's good. I think I Ally Switch, because they're probably going to attack into Lucario and protect Sylveon. Okay, they protect Sylveon, that's right. And they don't expect me to have Ally Switch, most likely. So I can just Ally Switch here. They're probably not going to attack Spiritomb, because Spiritomb doesn't normally do a lot of damage. Bullet Punch into the Protect, yep. Will-O-Wisp into Spiritomb, okay. So that's better, I think. But that also means Foul Play's damage is reduced. So I can Bullet Punch Sylveon, probably. And I think I actually switched Spiritomb. I think I'm going to switch Spiritomb into Milotic, just because Milotic can do a lot more damage to Talonflame. And with Trick Room up, I just want to do as much damage as possible. Get their team as low as possible. Okay. Bullet Punch KOs Sylveon. So that's their big threat against Spiritomb down, but Spiritomb's kind of low. Critical hit doesn't matter. This is probably just an attack going into Lucario. Yep. Alright, so Lucario's down, but that actually gives me room to switch into Roserade. I think I protect Roserade and Coil with Milotic. I think they're probably going to attack into Roserade with Talonflame. Roserade protects. If they fake out, that's fine-ish. Okay, fake out. It does a lot of damage. Acrobatics into Roserade. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so their Tailwind's gone, but that doesn't really matter for me. I think I just Leaf Storm into Lopunny and Muddy Water, because Lopunny's slower. I really need to get it knocked out. It does not have very high defenses. So once I get Lopunny knocked out, I think there's a much higher chance of me beating whatever they have in the back. Okay, Talonflame uses Tailwind for some reason. I really should have just... I think I really should have just... Okay. Roserade's really strong, actually. Roserade has base 125 special attack. So plus Life Orb and Leaf Storm, that's going to do a ton of damage. And now hopefully Muddy Water hits here. Okay, it does. So single target, that's going to do a lot of damage. Just knocks out. Okay. Now I think what I do here is I think I I think I attack again with Roserade, just because I don't want to switch in Spiritomb. And I think I can probably coil with my Milotic here, just because I wanted that accuracy boost. Okay, that does a good amount of damage. But with Coil, that boosts my defense, so I should be okay. Leaf Storm should do an okay. Yeah, that's not much damage, but it's a fine amount. That's going to do a lot of damage once it's not -2. So I think I can switch in Spiritomb here, because I don't think Spiritomb's going to be able to set up another Trick Room. And I think I Hypnosis. Do I Hypnosis? No, I think I Protect. I think I want to Protect just to regain some HP so I can survive better. And then I can probably get away with an Ally Switch. Okay, Kowtow Cleave goes into the Protect. That's good. I'm in a really good spot here. So I'm hoping that my opponent could still win with a few crits or a few good reads. But I think I'm in a pretty good place right now. They have Tailwind up. So I think I can probably... They might expect me to Ally Switch. So I think I just Foul Play and Coil, because a second Coil means Hypnosis will be 100% accurate. Okay, they Kowtow Cleave. My Milotic's still alive, but their Tailwind runs out this turn, so they're not going to be able to outspeed me. The only way they'd be able to do that is with Sucker Punch, and Sucker Punch can only work if I'm using a damaging move, and if I'm using Hypnosis, that's not a damaging move. Okay, Kingambit falls asleep. It's going to waste its first turn of sleep here. So I'll survive a second Kowtow Cleave. I won't survive a Kowtow Cleave with Roserade, but I don't really need to, because my Milotic can do a lot of damage here. I'm just hoping that Muddy Water doesn't get the accuracy boost. Okay, is this Sucker Punch? That is Sucker Punch into Roserade. That's a lot of damage. I don't like that. Okay. So Muddy Water here. No accuracy boost? Okay. Okay, that's not good. Let's hope this does a lot of damage. Come on, Roserade. Oh, wow. That just KOs. Alright, so that's the team's first win. Alright, so we're facing a Rain team. The only problem is I don't think I'll be able to set up Trick Room immediately, because I think they're going to want to go after Spiritomb immediately if they know what I'm going to do. So what I might have to do is... Okay, I have to predict what they're going to lead here. I think Mega Venusaur looks really good into my team, so they might bring that, but they also might just go straight up Rain. It's a tough one. I think Mega Lucario is good here, just to get rid of whatever they have at the start. And Spiritomb can probably also go with... I think Glaceon looks good here once I get Trick Room set up. Okay, so they send out Venusaur and Sableye. So this should allow me to get Trick Room up. But I still don't think that that's going to be, like, amazing for me. I don't think I'm in a great spot against Venusaur. I don't know how much I can do against it. They're probably just going to Reflect here. And then probably Earth Power on my Lucario. Okay. Get to go first. That's not a lot of damage. Sableye uses Will-O-Wisp. Okay, that's not great. Neutralizes one of my attackers. Earth Power. Okay. Please KO. Okay, that's actually really bad that that didn't KO. Because now I still have a damaged Lucario in, and that burns one of my Trick Room turns. Please KO Lucario. I don't know why they're using Light Screen. That seems kind of weird to me. Okay, they're not even KOing Lucario right now. Okay. So Lucario is down. Here comes in... I think I bring in Glaceon, just because it has a really high special attack stat, and I can use Helping Hand Blizzard. This should equalize out the Light Screen damage. Okay, they Reflect. They use Taunt. I don't know why they're using Taunt on Glaceon. Maybe they expected me to, like, Calm Mind or something? Okay, Okay, that does a lot of damage. That's good. That's really good. That's definitely not even a range to KO Sableye. So I think I just Helping Hand with Glaceon again, and this should do a lot to Venusaur too. Hopefully their Sableye doesn't have Light Clay on it. Okay, Rain Dance. Does that lower Blizzard's accuracy? I want to say that lowers Blizzard's accuracy. Okay. That still does a lot of damage, though. That's good damage. And the freeze. The freeze is huge. The freeze is huge on Venusaur. Please stay frozen. Okay, it is frozen. Or Caledon. Okay. So it's the last turn of Trick Room. I think I have to Blizzard and Helping Hand again. Because they're probably just gonna protect both. Or try to protect both. But, yeah, because it's the last turn of Trick Room. So, hopefully they can't do a ton of damage here. Venusaur's frozen solid. Please KO. And it avoided. Okay. Glaceon took off the taunt. That doesn't really mean anything to me. I predict that... I actually predict that they're going to attack... They're going to double into Spiritomb. So... I have to Trick Room, I think. But just hopefully Venusaur stays frozen and our Caledon can't KO. Okay, Venusaur thawed out. Venusaur used Protect. That's weird. Attacking a Glaceon? Okay. This probably KOs me. Depending on what they use it on. Spiritomb? Ah, darn. No second Trick Room for me, I guess. Please hit. Please hit against our Caledon. Okay. Does a little bit of damage. Freeze? No freeze. Okay, they have leftovers too. So this is looking difficult for me. Light Screen wore off though, so that's pretty big. That's pretty big. All we can hope here is that... Okay. I think I have to use Blizzard, I think, just because I think that'll do the most damage. And hopefully Sludge Bomb with Roserade. Hopefully it's faster than their Venusaur or something. Hopefully they don't see it as a huge threat. Okay, Sludge Bomb into Glaceon. Flash Cannon into Glaceon. Ah, darn it. Okay. I probably should have protected there, honestly. Sludge Bomb KOs Venusaur. It's a crit. I don't think that mattered. Yeah, this is just going to be a one-hit KO with Hurricane, so I don't even have to play this one out. Okay. So, they have Mega Floette and Mega Charizard Y. I think they're probably going to bring Mega Floette here, but again, I was wrong about that in the last game. I said they were going to bring Mega Floette. Maybe Glaceon, honestly. But if they lead Charizard, that's really bad for me. So I think I also bring Milotic and Roserade. I don't think this is a Mega Lucario game. Okay, Garchomp, Whimsicott. This is a really good lead for me. I think I can probably just set up Trick Room here, because I think they're going to expect me to... Actually, no, I can't Protect, because Whimsicott could Encore me. So I think I just Blizzard, honestly. Blizzard and Trick Room. Because, okay, they attack into Spiritomb. It's going to eat my Roselli Berry. Should do a lot, though, just because I didn't train it very high in its special defense. Rock Slide, please miss. Oh, Glaceon, nice. That probably wouldn't have KO'd, but it would have flinched. It could have flinched, and that would have been really bad. So, if this hits, this might just be a double KO, as long as they don't have Focus Sash. Okay, they do have Focus Sash, but that's still a ton of damage. That might have just won me the game on the spot with that. Because I don't think Whimsicott can do too much. If they bring in something like Charizard, then I can Helping Hand plus Blizzard. Okay, here comes Charizard. I think Helping Hand plus Blizzard gets me what I want here. Because I think this is going to do a lot to Charizard, as long as it doesn't miss. So, And it should KO Whimsicott as long as Whimsicott doesn't... Okay, they protect. Does Whimsicott protect? Whimsicott Encores. Doesn't affect Spiritomb. Is as Dark type. Right. Dark types are immune to Prankster. I forgot that in the last battle earlier. That's why they couldn't have Encored Spiritomb into Trick Room. Okay, Whimsicott's down. I still have, I think, 3 turns of Trick Room, and they only have 2 Pokemon left versus my 4. Okay, they have Basculegion. So, I think actually what I do here is Foul Play, and then Freeze Dry into Charizard might do a good amount of damage. Or I might just Blizzard, actually. Just in case. I don't know if Sun lowers Blizzard's accuracy. If it does, that's bad for me. But I think Foul Play should move first, because Spiritomb's the slowest on the field, unless they Aqua Jet. And with they Aqua Jet, then that's... Okay. Foul Play goes first. Yeah, that KOs. Okay. So, Basculegion's down. That's a crit. I don't think the crit mattered, because Basculegion has a really high attack stat. Blizzard, single target. Okay, that's over 50% to Charizard. This Heat Wave is probably going to KO. Unless it misses Spiritomb. But Spiritomb's not the most important target. Glaceon getting knocked out's pretty bad. But I still have, I think, several turns of Trick Room left. And I still have Milotic too. So I don't think their Charizard can break Milotic. I think if I Ally Switch here... Hold on. How many turns of Trick Room do I have left? 2. Okay, so I think they're probably going to Protect here. And if that's the case, then I can... just get a little bit of chip damage and Muddy Water, maybe? Okay. They don't protect. Okay, that's a lot of damage. Charizard doesn't have that high of an attack stat. That's weird. Okay, but that KOs. Alright, so we're 2-2. It's a lot better than I went in testing, for sure. Alright, so I think this is going to be my last battle with the team. We're facing a Mega Blastoise... or normal Blastoise, possibly, but definitely Mega Delphox team. That way... No, I think I lead with Garchomp and Spiritomb, because Garchomp can do a ton of damage to most of their Pokemon, so they're likely not going to want to have much out against it. The only problem is that Sinistcha, so I think I've got to bring Glaceon, and then I'll also bring Roserade in the back to deal with Rotom Wash. Alright, so they start with Blastoise and Sneasler, so they're going to try to Fake Out here, most likely. So, I think I Trick Room, and I think I actually might just Trick Room and Earthquake. Actually, no, I think I Protect Garchomp, because they're probably going to Fake Out Garchomp and use Water Spout. Water Spout might KO Spiritomb. That would be really bad for me. At least this way I get to save Garchomp, which they're likely going to Fake Out right now. Yep. Okay. Please, Spiritomb survive. If Spiritomb survives, we're in such a good spot. Okay, they Shell Smash! Okay, that's so good for me. They boosted all their stats, but now I get Trick Room up. And their most powerful move is Water Spout, which thrives when you have the most HP left. And now I can Foul Play into +2 Blastoise and use Earthquake, because I don't really care if Spiritomb gets hurt here. And that should KO Sneasler unless they have the Focus Sash, and do a lot of damage to Blastoise. Blastoise normally doesn't run Protect, so this should do a ton of damage, basically uncontested. Okay, they switch Sneasler. This is probably going to be Rotom. Okay, Sinistcha. And they switch Blastoise too. That's Rotom. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Double switch. Does decent damage into Rotom. Earthquake. Yeah. I think I just want to get as much damage as I can. So I think I'm switching Glaceon here and Rock Slide. Because Glaceon's going to be the slowest thing out here, because it actually has a lower base speed than Sinistcha. Okay, they use Life Dew. Probably attacking into... Actually, I don't know. Will-O-Wisp into Garchomp, that's fine. Rock Slide's going to do a little bit of chip, but not that much. Yeah, basically nothing. They have Life Dew. They probably don't have Protect. So I'm going to call... I think I Freeze Dry into Sinistcha and just Rock Slide still. Okay, Freeze Dry goes into Sinistra. Doesn't KO. So not enough damage. Matcha Gotcha. It's probably gonna mean it survives. Yeah. Don't like that. Don't like that at all. Hydro Pump, please don't KO. Okay. Glaceon survives. Still definitely not enough damage though. I think here I actually Freeze Dry again, but into Rotom this time, and Rock Slide. Okay, Freeze Dry works. KO's Rotom. A miss for Matcha Gotcha would be huge here, but I don't think I'm lucky enough to get that. Oh my god, I got it! Okay, so we're still sort of in this. I still have some Trick Room turns left. Okay, Citrus Berry procs on Garchomp. It's a little more HP for me. Rock Slide. Not really mattering too much, but at least keeping Sinistra's HP kind of low. They're probably going to send in something to fake out. Okay, Twisted Dimensions return to normal. Okay, they send in Blastoise. They're probably just going to fake out here, honestly. Because my Garchomp's probably faster than their Blastoise. Just because it's not, like, minus speed. Okay, it's the fastest thing to move. Please flinch. Please flinch. Please flinch. Blastoise has Muddy Water. Okay. It's going to do a bit of damage. This is probably Matcha Gotcha. Life Dew. Okay. So now I have in Life Orb Roserade. And Roserade can't have its moves redirected. So they're probably going to want to switch here. So I think if I Energy Ball and Stomping Tantrum, then that covers for their switch. Okay, they withdraw Blastoise. So this is going to be Sneasler. And Garchomp's burned, but Sneasler does not have very high physical defense. So yeah, it still does a lot. And Life Orb Roserade might still KO here. Okay. Life Orb Roserade KOs. Alright. Life Dew again. That's not helpful. Except for Sinistra itself. Which is going to be kind of hard to take out. So I think what I can do here is... No, I can't afford to double protect to block fake out. I think I have to Energy Ball. Just because I don't want to risk a Leaf Storm miss. And Rock Slide. In case I get a flinch. Okay, Rock Slide. Does like pitiful damage. Hopefully a flinch here. Blastoise uses Muddy Water. This won't KO Roserade. Doesn't do a lot of damage at all, actually. Probably looking for an accuracy drop. Knocks out Garchomp. Roserade uses Energy Ball. Life Orb Roserade Energy Ball KOs. Okay, so I didn't even need to use Leaf Storm. And now they're down to just Sinistra. Okay. And they forfeit. Alright. So we ended a positive record. Alright. That was pretty fun, actually. I think 2-win streak. I'm actually higher than I started at in Master Ball tier. So that's really interesting. But yeah. Yeah, so overall, I do not think the team's really good. But I do think it's at least playable. I think it's possible to use this team well. Again, not all the sets are perfect. Some of these are just things I've started using because I like them, or because I think they possibly could be good on this type of team. I think that it's a playable team at the very least. So I think it's possible to use. Alright, so here's the full team. I have all of their stats and everything right here, just in case you want to try them out. I don't think the stats are perfectly optimal. I'm not even sure if the movesets are perfectly optimal. But I went 3-2 in Master Ball tier, so I think with a team like this, that's the best you're probably going to get, considering I had to bring Spiritomb to like every single game. So hopefully you like the team. Thank you again to the people who commented asking for the certain Pokemon like Lucario and Roserade and the Cynthia team tryout and everything. And alright, I'll see you later. Thank you. Bye.